Beautiful Monday morning. Well, I guess it's afternoon. It just turned 12 o'clock on my clock there, so good, beautiful Monday afternoon. I love this weather. Just shy of 80 degrees. It may be 75 to 77 here in northern Ohio on a beautiful late September day. To me, this is the greatest time of year. The colors are starting to turn. We have wonderful, cool evenings, but beautiful, warm afternoons. It's like you experience 3 of the 4 seasons in a 24-hour period every single day. God, I love it. God, I'm thankful for it. Blessed to be an American, blessed to live in a society that grants me the privilege to have a good job, have a beautiful motorcycle, a beautiful home, a beautiful wife who also has a wonderful job, and a couple new vehicles in the driveway. It wasn't all too long ago I was in a situation in my life where I was living paycheck to paycheck, driving a car with 250,000 miles on it, with the front fender beat up, and didn't have a dime in the bank. Through lots of prayer, hard work, and determination, and blessings of God, I am now in a position where I'm comfortable in life. The only things I don't have are toys that I've wanted for many years now. So if my only complaint is that I don't have a toy or two, I'll have nothing to complain about. I think back to just 10 years ago. Insurance, my insurance, monthly premium was obnoxiously high. Shortly after Barack Obama signed the Affordable Care Act into law, my insurance premiums went up $75 a week on my pay. $75 a week, $300 a month I started to pay for insurance extra. And my insurance benefit didn't change. It's just that the price did. Why? Oh, because they said that my insurance was considered a Cadillac healthcare plan and fell into that range of benefit. So I was charged or taxed an additional $300 a month just because my employer offered a very good insurance package. And I don't know about you, but $300 a month additional fee on your insurance plan sure doesn't sound too affordable to me. Old Obamacare. I called it Obama Don't Care because what he did for the middle class, in my experience, was destroy it. It wasn't just Obama. He had plenty of help along the way. Bush before him got us so deep in debt with foreign war, Medicare Part D, so many other things that he dumped money on wastefully, that we were already a horrible mess when Obama took over. Let's go back to Bill Clinton, shall we? Everybody thinking back on Bill Clinton era in the middle class that I talk to seems to say that he was the best president we've ever had. Even though his administration crafted the bill known as NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. It literally sent millions of jobs from the United States into Mexico. This country bled jobs from the day that Clinton signed that bill to the day that Donald Trump was sworn in as the 45th president and started to reverse it. from that point on, manufacturing jobs in every segment, jobs in every measurable metric of the economy started to grow. At one point in Trump's presidency in 4 years, there were more jobs available than there were people to fill those jobs. Then the coronavirus hit as a bioterror attack from China. I believe in my heart that that's the case. You can argue with me, you can hate me for saying that, but we were taking China to the cleaners on everything, and they were bleeding work from there to here. They were bleeding money with new tariffs, and they were dying. Then comes the coronavirus from a lab in China, and they just spread it around the globe. And of course, every half-wit jackass governor in the country shut their state down, all except maybe one or two. Miss Kristi Noem in North or South Dakota, she didn't do it. She was the smart one. She was the brave one. She let her citizens decide how they wanted to handle the coronavirus. And with great success, Miss Noem, thank you. There's the model of how a governor should govern. But even despite all the scandemic of the coronavirus, because we know the numbers were all fake, and they have been since March, the CDC has quietly updated their numbers week in and week out ever since, about July, maybe August, and no one ever reports on it. The only people that really have anything to be worried about here are the elderly who are stuck in nursing homes and hospitals who have nowhere to go. They were affected the most by it, by far. Like 80% of the deaths of this were literally from the elderly living in nursing homes and hospitals and extended care centers. After that, another 10 to 15% were people in prison. They also have nowhere to go to escape it. So roughly 90% of the deaths were all from long-term care facilities, whether medical or penal. So the rest of us have a 99.8 or 99.98 maybe percent survival rate, and it's even greater than that you're even going to have to go to the hospital. So the whole thing's been a scam. The whole thing's been a experiment on society for big government control. And from what I see living in northern Ohio between Cleveland and Toledo and Columbus, I'm in that triangle somewhere, most of the sheep out here bought it. They literally just bought into the fear, wear the mask, and flip out on people who aren't wearing a mask because the man on TV or the radio or the internet told them to. As much as I despise big government interfering in the private sector, I think I hate people who are sheep even more. Not the people, well, God knows I would defend those people if it came down to riots in the streets or a civil war, God forbid. I would definitely defend all citizens, but I hate how they act. I hate that people are scared. I hate that people are submissive to the man now. I mean, what happened to the spirit of '76? I keep bringing that up. I live in the town where Archibald Willard lived, the man who painted that famous painting. But the spirit of '76 is gone. I'm not sure if it'll ever come back. The world is so controlled by fear and brainwash people who grew up in public schools. I grew up in a public school, but I was one of the kids who probably wasn't the best student, we'll put it that way. So I always had a bit of a rebellious flair in my blood or in my spirit. So I never got the idea of just following along. You could take the best soldier in the world who follows orders better than any other soldier and have him march off a cliff because that's what the commanding officer told him to do. Or you could have someone who's a natural leader who assesses every situation and adapts, improvises, and overcomes. I'll take the guy that adapts and improvises over someone who follows orders with their blindfold on every single time. Even though a portion of the time the guy that doesn't follow orders directly may be a total pain in the rear end, the times when you need that person the most, they're going to shine. And sadly, we've raised 2 generations since World War II who blindly follow orders. And even if we started to reverse that trend right now, it's going to take a minimum of a generation to dig this country back out of the pit of fear and loathsome that we're in. Now, I ride and drive through small town America and through the country, and the further away from cities you get, the less sheep I see. They're still there. I live in a real small town and go to the hardware store and go to the grocery store, and I'm a 1% or less of the population here who's not walking around with a mask on, acting like I'm scared of breathing. I'm still one of the few who make my own mind up and follow my own ways. I pray for society to wake up. I pray for the United States to have a revival, the Holy Spirit revival, the kind that sets your heart on fire and your soul on fire, and the kind that built this country with the pioneers and founding fathers and people that built railroad through Indian territory with little to no weapons or support from the government, and the men who built the Hoover Dam and climbed the mountains and built the first airplane and broke the sound barrier at the Salt Flats. I mean, there's so few people anymore that fit that kind of description that it's kind of scary. And I will continue to do my best or do my part to be a minister or evangelist, so to speak, to spread the word of bravery, so to speak, or at least don't be scared. Spread the spirit of being an independent and a free spirit. Spread the spirit of breaking rules. Arnold Schwarzenegger said in one of the most inspiring speeches I've ever heard about breaking rules. If you ever want to be a trendsetter, if you ever want to be a person that others admire and look up to, you have to break the rules. Don't break the law. I'm not asking people to break the law, but break the rules. Rules are meant to be broken. Laws, not so much. You break the law, you're going to have to pay the penalty for it, but executive orders from overreaching governors are not laws. You have a small business, open it up. If you get shut down by the state, take them to court. Pennsylvania's governor's executive orders were just found unconstitutional by the United States Supreme Court. And that needs to be the status quo for every governor in the country right now. I think every citizen in the country needs to know that and just live their life and base that off of the United States Supreme Court's ruling that Tommy Wolf violated people's individual liberties with all of his illegal executive orders. So you need to learn this stuff, people. You need to embrace this, people, and go live. Open your business. Open your barbershop or beauty salon. Open your restaurant or bar. Everything. Just freaking live. Don't let Big Brother tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. We have too much of that in the United States. Be independent and brave. Get on that old wooden boat with your family and forsake your fortune. Sail the Atlantic to the New World and start over. The Pilgrims of old did it. We need to do it too. Only we're in the New World and we're watching it be drained from our future like water going down the tub. It's time to stop it. It's time to live again. And no one can do it for you. You have to decide to do it for your future, for your children, for their children, for everyone. You need to just stand up and have your voice counted. Do it for you, do it for your family, do it for your future. For God's sake, do it for America. Your grandchildren will be grateful and thankful for it. Talk to you next time, guys.